So today we're going to be breaking down a super foundational footwork pattern. Whether you're utilizing this for choreography or for freestyle, this is a great step to bring just a new flavor of authenticity into your style. So we're going to break it down. Super easy. So this footwork pattern and this step is pretty well known, and if you've been around hip-hop dance or breaking or whatever for any length of time, you'll probably already know this step. This video is more so intended for people who have never really had this step broken down for them. However, for the people that are a little bit more advanced or who already have the knowledge of how to do this step, an idea that I was recently presented with is a lot of times when it comes to the basics, we really think that we have it all figured out because we understand the basics. Mastering the basics and understanding the basics are two different things. Just because something is basic or foundational, that doesn't mean that it is an easier thing to perform or to do. It just means that it's easier to understand. And so sometimes we trick ourselves in thinking that because we understand a basic concept or basic, whether it's a footwork pattern or even just a basic, math concept, basic construction, basic art principles. We think that just because we understand them, we don't need to practice with them and we don't need to incorporate them into our training or to expand our knowledge of them. So I would say that this video is definitely geared more towards beginner dancers, but intermediate and advanced dancers can definitely still pull from this and at the very least, use this as inspiration to continue to train the basics, because the basics are the foundation of everything that we build on, and having a strong foundation is key to building whatever it is that you want to build. So anyways, let's get into this step. So the basic step that we're going to be working with today is what I'm going to call the kick step rock. Now, people call this a variety of different things. Kickball change, kick step touch. Now it's funny because I actually call this kickball change more than I call it kick step rock, but I think that kick step rock is more accurate to what we're actually doing, because when we do this step, we really are just repeating that pattern over and over again. We're repeating kick, step, rock, and kick, step, rock. So we're gonna go with kick step rock today. It's called a bunch of different things. This is just what we're going with today. To start, we're just gonna begin with our right foot, and we're just gonna follow this pattern. Kick, step, rock, and kick, step, rock, and over and over and over again. Now, if you've never done this step before, a good place to start is to just learn how to do this little gallop step. I've heard this called a gallop step. I've heard this called a kick step. It really doesn't make any difference. It's more so about the pattern of your feet. Learning this pattern of kicking and then hopping on the foot that you kick and prepping your other foot is super key. So you can see when I do this, I do almost a little hop when I start my kick, then I hop onto the foot that I kicked, then when I kick my other foot, I do another little hop. So nice and slow, it would be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If that's where you need to start, then that's a perfect place to go. You can play around with just going straight on and then also getting used to turning maybe in a circle or even just traveling side to side. The more mobility you have and the easier it is to just go any direction you want, the easier the rest of these variations are going to be for you. If this is where you need to start, then start here. Now when we're talking about foundations, something that's really important when we're doing this step is to not only find the pattern of the feet, but also to find the underlying rock that goes along with this step. Every time we kick forward, our chest rocks forward, and every time we prep for a kick, our chest rocks back. So we have this continuous rock and rock and rock and rock integrated with this step. You can see the difference between doing this and doing this.
And that's what makes it look like hip hop.
So as we're doing all of these variations today, remember to incorporate that foundational rock with the upper body. Now we're gonna go back to that footwork pattern that we were talking about a little bit ago. To start, we have our little hop kick that we just worked on. We're gonna switch our feet like we're about to do another one, but instead of just kicking our foot out to the front, we're gonna step it out to the side. So we have a kick, step, side. 6, 7, 8, kick, step, rock. So we have kick, step, rock, and. Now that and is super important. That and is our return to center before we go to the other side. Let me see if I can show you this way. I'm gonna do the step without the preparation on and the step with the preparation on and. So this is without. We have kick, step, rock, kick, step, rock, kick, step, rock, kick, step, rock. Versus with the and. Kick, step, rock, and kick, step, rock, and kick, step, rock, and kick, step, rock. So that's a common mistake that I see some people making when they're trying to learn this step for the first time, is they will miss the preparation in between sides. So that's our basic variation. We have a kick, step, rock, and a kick, step, rock. We rock it front and front and front and front. One more note about this step. When we have our rock to the side, we want to actually find a shift of the weight over to the side when we're doing this step, as opposed to just finding kick, step, stick the leg out. Or, as I've seen it before too, kick, step, don't even touch the floor, right? Now I think that different people have different styles for how they do this step, and there may not be such a dramatic shift for absolutely everybody all the time. But I think that when you're learning this step, it's good and important to learn how to shift the weight over initially so that you don't start doing wonky things like kick, step, tap, kick, step, tap. Just something to think about. So we've got the basic variation down now. Kick, step, rock, and kick, step, rock, and kick, step, rock, and kick, step, rock. Now we're gonna start playing around with different variations of this step. So some of you may have seen the video that I did a couple of weeks ago with my homie Austin. In that video, we were talking about concepts for freestyle, and one of the concepts that we talked about is the compass concept. If you haven't seen that video, the basic idea is to imagine a compass on the floor underneath your feet, and you're standing in the center of it. So in front of you, you have north, you have east, you have south, and you have west. That idea of a compass is really gonna come in handy today when we're talking about these variations. So we have the basic variation, kick, step, side, kick, step, side. Now once we have that down, we can start playing around with different feet placements or taking our feet to different points on the compass. So we start kick, step, side, kick, step, side. Now we can play around with different placements of the feet. Kick, step, back, or kick, step, south, kick, step, south, kick, step, south. You could also go to the front, kick, step, north, kick, step, north. It sounds a little goofy, but for me, it actually helps me to like conceptualize what I'm doing. So that alone can add a whole new layer to your exploration with this step. Kick, step, side, kick, step, side, kick, step, back, kick, step, back, kick, step, front, kick, step, front. So the basic pattern of the feet stays the same. The only thing that changes is the placement of the foot when you do your rock. Kick, step, rock, kick, step, rock, kick, step, rock, kick, step, rock. Now just learning to keep this continuous without any awkward pauses and also keeping that foundational rock, just learning to do that takes a lot of practice and takes a lot of mastery. That's something that I still find myself needing to work on. I definitely don't say that the basics are everything or that the basics are foundational and key to your success for no reason or because I don't actually think it. It's because more and more as I continue in my dance journey, I recognize that the areas where I lack the most are the areas where my basics and my foundational steps or my foundational grooves are not as locked in as they could be. This video is both a tutorial for someone who's never had this explained to them before and also a little documentation of me training in these foundational grooves. I need it just as much as anybody does. So we've broken down the basic variation and we've also broken down some different placements of the feet that you can play around with. Now in addition to those different feet placements, we can add different dimensions or angles to our body to add even more flavor. So let's say we're doing our kick, step, rock to the back. Instead of just keeping our body square the whole time, we can play around with adding a twist. Kick, step, twist. Kick, step, twist. Kick, step, twist. And that twist can really be done any direction. You can do it with the basic variation, kick, step, twist, kick, step, twist. You can do it to the front, kick, step, front, or do it to the back like you just did. Back. Another idea that you can play around with is adding a slide. Instead of going kick, step, rock all the time, we could add a kick, step, slide. Kick, step, slide. Kick, step, slide. Kick, step, slide. You can also incorporate that twist into your slide. Kick, step, slide. Kick, step, slide. You can see how with just a little bit of tweaking, you can unlock so many different variations within just this basic footwork pattern. I really started to become more familiar with this step when I dove deeper into breaking, just because it's a super foundational breaking up rock. You see it all the time. Very foundational vocabulary. And I think truly when I started to break this down and understand it better for myself, it just changed my whole perspective on hip hop dance. And I think ultimately that's what set me down this path of wanting to practice hip hop that is both authentic to how it was originally created and authentic to the explorative process of those who came up with it. Hopefully that makes sense. And I hope that these videos will help anyone who considers themselves a student of hip hop dance to also learn things super authentically and to pull from the original inspiration of those who came before us. Now before we wrap up this video, I'm gonna throw in one more bonus variation that you can play around with. The reason that this one's a bonus is because it's just a little bit different than the other ones, but it's really the same basic principle, and I wanted to just throw it in here because I want you guys to have as much to explore with and to play with as you possibly can. So we have our kick step rock to any and every which way, kick step slide, kick step twist, playing around with all of these different ideas. Another super basic idea you can play around with is crosses. So in the normal variation, we go kick step side. If we add a cross, we would just go kick step cross. And you can cross any which way. You can cross to the front, you can cross to the back. You could even almost mix a twist and a cross together. Kick, step, twist, and cross. Kick, step, cross. And then the final variation that I'm gonna throw in here that you can play around with is adding almost a half turn to this more basic variation of the step. So instead of just keeping our chest facing the same direction the whole time, we can change it up and add a 180 turn. Kick, step, turn. Kick, step, turn. Kick, step, turn. Kick, step, turn. I feel like you see people doing this coming forward a lot, like kick, step, kick, step, kick, step, kick, step. Just one more idea to play around with. All of these little variations and ideas are meant to be starting points upon which you can build and add your own flavor and make your own discoveries with. Hopefully this video was insightful and you were able to learn something from it. I'm gonna play some music and train this a little bit myself, just kind of show you some possibilities when you're playing around with these variations. So we're all in this together. I'm training along with you. Big thank you to anybody who's still watching at this point in the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If y'all want some more dance related content, be sure to check out the rest of the videos on my channel. Be sure to leave comments about any questions or thoughts that you have down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.